What is up? My name is Lloyd, and this is the Middle Card, which are my takes on the world of pro wrestling, from matches to storylines to just all the ins and outs. So let's go. On the latest edition of AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley made his return. And as we all well know, Moxley was away dealing with alcohol related issues in rehab. So he comes on out. Everybody's super happy to see him, and he delivers this fiery promo where basically he doesn't use the exact terms and say exactly why it was that he was away. I mean, Tony Khan had already done that, but he tells it in story form and talks about demons and having to deal with them and overcome them. And then even by the end, he mentions that from now on he only drinks blood, obviously as opposed to alcohol. So everybody was happy to see him. I feel like the promo went over very, very well. But then this did lead to Bully Ray on the Busted Open radio show, which I must say I'm a super huge fan of. I love hearing Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer talk about wrestling. I could listen to that all day. But Bully Ray goes on ahead and he says that he would have liked to see more accountability from Jon Moxley in his promo. He would have liked to see something on the lines of, "I'm sorry," something along those lines. And this has led to a backlash. Now, I did listen to it. I heard what he had to say. And I didn't find what he said to be super insulting. I think he tried to be very complimentary of Moxley, and he was just giving his opinion of what he wanted to see from him. In no uncertain terms, he said that he felt like he owed the fans something because people may have paid to see him and he wasn't there for them, so he should show more accountability. So I don't find what he said super egregious, but in my opinion, he was wrong. And here's why. Accountability is subjective. It's a super subjective term. What accountability is to one person, it's not going to be to the next. Now, I don't know Jon Moxley personally, obviously, but from what I've heard, listening to different people talk about him, he's not the most sociable guy and really keeps to himself. He's that type of individual. He's an introvert. So him coming out and him telling the story in the way that he does could be his way of opening up and letting people in, and his way of saying that he's sorry, and he's going to show that he's sorry by being there from now on and just having great matches and performing for the people and giving it his all. That could be how he is being accountable. Being accountable doesn't necessarily mean that saying the words that I need to be accountable and I need to say that I'm sorry. Sometimes words are hollow. Sometimes just saying it doesn't mean anything. People lie all the time. So in my opinion, he really didn't have to say anything. He doesn't owe me an apology. He doesn't owe the fans an apology. Maybe he owes his wife an apology. Maybe he owes his child an apology. Maybe he owes some friends or some colleagues an apology. But as far as people that are the fans, no. If I'm coming down to it, to me, he kind of just owes himself. He owes himself to be better. He needs to be accountable to himself and for himself and deal with things in that respect. So this is exactly where I think that Bully Ray went wrong, And that's why he's catching all this backlash. Now, I think it's a little much, the backlash that he's catching. But there was bound to be some backlash, dude. And that's what it comes down to. What's an apology to some person may not be an apology to the next. And we just have to take things as they are. And that's all we can do. Now, it doesn't mean everybody's going to forgive Moxley for being away. People are going to have their opinions. Maybe it wasn't good enough for you. But that doesn't mean that he wasn't being accountable. At the end of the day, it's just great to see him back.